All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Dan-A-Plooza. My guest at this time is burlesque performer and atomic red hot pinup girl Scarlett Sinclair. Hello, Scarlett.
Hi there.
It's great to have you on the show. Thank you for being here. What made you
Thanks for
decide to
having me.
become a pin? Oh, welcome to have you here. What made you decide to become a pinup girl?
Well, I am pretty much obsessed with history. My background is mostly in the Civil War and things like that. I've been into that since I was
Okay.
8 years old, and my first trip to Gettysburg. And for many years, I was also a Civil War reenactor.
Oh,
But
all
probably
right.
about a decade or so ago, I started getting into the style of pinup and all of that. I think that kind of came by the way of Betty Page and learning more about her and seeing all the work that she did.
That's
And
awesome.
then,
That-
yeah, and then I guess, formally became a pinup girl about 2 years ago when I started my first contest. And then a little over a year ago, I joined the Red Hots.
there you go. Um, Success, and it's great that you have that appreciation of the military background, with the reenactments. So, as moving forward, were you impacted by COVID as a performer?
I actually started burlesque about few months before COVID happened. I know I had at least one show lined up after my very first performance in the fall of 2019. And then March of 2020 came and everything shut down. I was actually in the middle of taking a second round of burlesque classes. And we'd gotten probably 3 or 4 in person. And then everything moved online and we did that via Zoom, and then we had our show via Zoom. It was only my second ever show and it was done online. And doing it online definitely has its advantages. Like you work and interact with people around the country, maybe even around the world that you might not otherwise get to do. And it's also convenient that no one has to drive anywhere. You can just do it from the comfort of your own home.
And you recently did a virtual performance with Fanny Sinclair. You want to share how that experience was?
Yeah, I did that a couple of weeks ago, and it was my first virtual performance in, I think, 2 years once COVID became less of a thing and live performances were happening again. So it was nice to do another virtual one, not have to drive to Pittsburgh and with all that. But it was fun getting to see other people perform from all over the country that, again, I otherwise would not be able to get to know or work with.
Well, it sounds like it was a good virtual networking opportunity, and that you enjoyed it. So, uh, moving forward, what made you decide to join the Atomic Red Hots?
Well, like I said, I joined a little over a year ago, and that came about because I had seen a bunch of my friends on Facebook joining this group that I'd never heard of. So I messaged one of the founders, Miss Nikki Darling. I think you had her on or going to,
Mhm.
and asked how I could become one, and that was that. There wasn't much to it at all. And it's been a lot of fun getting to know these other ladies and doing some good in the world and looking good while doing it and making friends. I like to say it's like a sorority minus the hazing and cooler clothes.
It's a good way to think of it. So, as far as photo shoots, do you have some of your own favorite photo shoots as a pinup?
Well, a bunch of us Red Hots did one pretty recently. It was at the Air Heritage Museum right next to the Beaver County Airport, which is roughly an hour and a half away from me, north of Pittsburgh. And there were a bunch of planes, mostly World War II, Vietnam, etc. era. And it was really cool to be able to get up in them and see them up close. And there's a few that I posed with a old Jeep. Those are a couple of my favorites out of that shoot. And another photo shoot that I did last fall. It's not really pinup per se, but I've always kind of been a goth chick at heart, so I really wanted to do a shoot in a cemetery. So I had actually placed in a pinup contest last summer, and the prize was a photo shoot. So I chose to wear a pretty gothy outfit and do it in one of our local cemeteries, one that's been around since the 1700s. So that was a lot of fun to do.
That's awesome. Photos of that to come from that shoot.
Yeah, I can post some.
Awesome, awesome. So, is there a dream photo shoot or performance that is yet to come that you're looking forward to someday?
Well, the one in the cemetery kind of was one of my dream photo shoots, but I know I have a couple photo shoots that I'll be doing probably later in the summer, early in the fall. Uh, because I'm obsessed with donuts, I have a donut pinup style dress, and I want to do something with that.
That's awesome. Uh, you have a favorite? Do you like have a favorite donut to go with that? Like, is there certain donuts that you're a fan of that you want to use with the donut dress for the shoot?
Chocolate frosted with sprinkles is by far my favorite.
It's a good one. uh, I think mine would be maybe like the hmm, I think like cinnamon. That's usually my favorite.
I like cinnamon.
Um, yeah, those are good ones. So, um, as far as moving forward, do you have any other performances or things coming up for you?
I don't have any burlesque performances lined up as of now, but I'm hoping that'll change. And on the
Okay.
pinup side of things, I have the donut photo shoot that I mentioned that I want to get going. And there's also a photo shoot in the works. I want to do something Halloween related, something pinup related. I collect Snoopy items, and I actually have a pinup dress that's Charlie Brown Halloween themed, and I want to
Oh, okay.
incorporate that into that shoot.
That's awesome. Uh, have you always been a Peanuts fan?
As long as I can remember, I have a ridiculous amount of Peanuts things that I collect. My husband complains that at Christmas it looks like Snoopy threw up everywhere.
Oh man, yeah, I'm a big. Snoopy is one of my favorites, and then I also enjoy Linus, and I've met Peppermint Patty before. So, uh, do you have a certain favorite episode of the Peanuts?
Oh, of course, I have a soft spot for both the Great Pumpkin and the Christmas episode. I think at this point I have an entire tree's worth at least of Peanuts ornaments. I get at least one every year from the Hallmark line because people usually get them for me.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. Um, so is there uh, is there somebody that maybe you haven't had a chance to work with that you want to work with, either burlesque or pinup?
Um, Not really sure. I'm always happy to meet new people in both of those fields. I'm actually going to be judging my first contest late in September, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, there you go. You have to let us know how that goes.
Sure will.
um, so, uh, is there a certain performance that means a lot to you that you've done as a burlesque performer?
I think my very favorite, well, there's two favorite performances that I've done. Last Halloween, I did a Fallout themed one. My husband actually helped put that together because he's a big fan of the series. So I had like the Vault Dweller style jumpsuit, and I had a little stuffed German Shepherd as dog meat. And that one was a lot of fun to do. I hope to do that again eventually. And the other favorite performance that I've had, I've actually done twice, but it's definitely one of my favorites. Last Halloween, I got a inflatable Snoopy costume, and I actually start out in that, dance to the Peanuts theme song, and then it goes into Bad to the Bone. And then as that starts up, I slip out of the Snoopy costume and into, you know, lingerie or what have you.
That's awesome. Uh, I definitely have seen the pictures and everything, and I definitely feel like that's probably a great performance that you've had. So kudos to you having that show. Um, are you wanting to keep performing like around here, or do you want to perform, you know, outside of your state?
I absolutely want to keep performing in the area, but if the opportunity arises for me to perform in other places, I'd like to take it if I can.
All right. Is there anywhere in mind?
No, I'm always up for new places and meeting new people. So if an opportunity comes up, I'd definitely like to do it.
Cool. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I think it would be good, especially if you could do anything in the States or maybe even international as an international performer.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
So, um, how did you come up with the name, or how was the name given to you as Scarlett Sinclair?
Well, I think Scarlett actually came from Scarlett O'Hara, and
Okay.
because the movie is problematic as all get out, but Scarlett as a character is pretty badass. And
Hmm.
St. Clair, I think, actually came about from a Simpsons reference. I've been a fan of that show for pretty much my whole life. And so I kind of put them together because it flowed.
Okay. Uh, so that's a good combination. So is are you looking forward to doing any more uh, pinups, beyond this year, as well as burlesque performances?
Oh, yeah, I definitely like to keep going with both of those things as long as I can. like I said, I don't have any more performances lined up yet, but I'm hoping that'll change.
Yep. And we'll let you know if there's any chance to network and create other opportunities for you. So always keep that in
I
mind.
appreciate that.
Okay. You're welcome.
Right.
Uh, so are you, because I was talking with Jinx before and she talked highly about you, um, that you had learned from her. Do you remember what that was like taking that class with her?
Yeah, she was my very first burlesque teacher, and
Aw.
it was a lot of fun because she's done so much, and she's done so much for me and anyone else that's been under her wing. And she's just a all around great person.
She said she was like your burlesque mother.
Yeah, I call her that too.
It was I thought that was interesting. I had never heard that term before till today. So always learning something new. Uh, so um, do you enjoy as a performer, like if it's just like a single performance, or do you enjoy more when it's like a theme performance?
Uh, I can go either way. Like say if it's a Halloween show, that's always fun to work with because Halloween's my favorite holiday. And it's nice
Oh,
to
awesome.
have all these acts kind of have a theme.
Hmm.
But if it's a variety show, that's always fun to see what everyone else comes up with too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was told earlier about the burlesque. Is that something that you partake in?
I did last year's show, and then the year before I kittened for it.
Hmm. So, do you already have like an idea of a character that maybe you would want to do, or is it too early to be thinking that?
Oh, it's never too early to be thinking that, but yeah, I'm sure I can come up with something.
Yeah. So, um, especially with the time of year. Um, so, are you looking forward to having more performances? Would you want more virtual or still more in person performances?
I'm always open to both. Each of them has their advantages.
Yeah, and I think that it's important to know that each one of them does. And do you feed off the crowd more in person, or and what challenge is that for you virtually?
Yeah, you definitely get to feed off the crowd energy more in person. But virtually, there is a way to, type things to people. It's not quite the same, but it is always nice to see.
Yeah, and I think that that's just important. Um, is there anything else you would like to announce or anything while on this podcast?
Not that I can think of. Just, follow me on Facebook or Instagram if you're so inclined.
Okay. So make sure to follow at Scarlett Sinclair, to follow on Facebook and Instagram, and to follow the Atomic Red Hots Facebook fan page. Um, so as far as any other pinups. Is there anything else in the works for you for this year?
So far it's just those 2 photo shoots that I mentioned that I still need to schedule at some point, but I'm doing that after my next time that I get my hair dyed.
All right, that sounds good. Um, so, uh, if there's anything else you want to say on Dan-A-Plooza, feel free to say it. And otherwise, we'll wrap it up, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, I'd like to go ahead and thank my guest, Scarlett Sinclair. Make sure to follow her on social media and the group, the Atomic Red Hot Pinups. And everyone, stay tuned for more Dan-A-Plooza.